Detroit Den 313. We're back. Stephen Will talking that Detroit Lions football. Before we get started, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new content. Steve, are we gonna have to throw the hands today?
No duping us today. We've been kind of duped on this in the past.
Yeah.
Some fake burner accounts, but I had to do some digging, and we're going to get into some comments and stuff that CJ Gardner-johnson has said on his way out of Detroit. Now, he's not a Detroit Lion. His words don't affect me, but we're just going to talk about pretty much what a dirtbag he is. Just not a good teammate, man. Like, not a good person. I'll say it. He's not a good person.
Yeah.
Just not a good guy.
Yeah.
So basically, the lowdown is CJ Gardner-johnson took to Twitter or X or whatever you guys want to call it, and he was calling out some Detroit teammates, talking about how they're afraid to go out in the city and interact with fans other than Jamison Williams, like they aren't real. He's talking about the Detroit Lions fans and how we turned on them. Buddy, you were here for blink of an eye. You were barely a Detroit Lion. Barely. You played, what, 5 games? And you're running your mouth? I don't know, Will. How do you feel? Here we go. Buckle up.
I'll say this: the first time this happened, it was probably the most aggressive episode never released by the Detroit Den 313. And I don't know if part of it is already being down this road, or if part of it is timing too, because the last time the timing was still fresh that he was leaving. And it's not even that I really wanted him to stay. We did an episode talking about how I was okay if he left, but leaving and not leaving in a classy way really frustrated me last time. But I'm in a different space now, man. Normally I don't even mention these guys' names, so I will say it one time. I don't even know what the dude's name is actually. Is it CJ Gardner-johnson? Is it CD Deuce? Is it Punk? I don't know what it is, but it's I just thought it was really classless, man. It was classless. But it's what he needs. Some people are self-motivated, man. Some people show up to work, they're ready to go. They want to be the greatest team, the greatest individual football player. And there's other people that have to find reasons for motivation. And I can just tell he's one of those guys. He has to find ways to hype himself up and get himself going everywhere that he goes, man. And every path that he blazes, he's got animosities and beefs with people, with fans. I think it's a little bit silly that he's partying and chucking it up with the same fans that were dogging him last season. You know,
When he got hurt.
Yeah. Preying on his downfall, saying all types of crazy stuff. We got the receipts, man. But it's not even about that. I got better things to do than to track down CJ Gardner-johnson and Philadelphia Eagles receipts. I'm not salty. I don't really care. I don't know, man. I don't really have a lot of feelings about it outside of it's just disappointing, man. For a guy that we were super excited about. I was running around my house celebrating that this dude was a Detroit Lion because of his play on the field. But last season, it was more talk than play.
A lot more talk than play.
I would advise him to just get to work, man. You're back with your old new team. You got back with that ex-girlfriend. She did you dirty once. She's probably gonna do you dirty again. I think this is a train wreck waiting to happen. But either way it goes, I don't particularly care. I'm just gonna worry about my Detroit Lions and move on and move forward. No malice intent towards him, but I do hope if we get in between those lines together, our team versus them, that maybe Amon-Ra treats him like Deebo Samuels treated him.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of talk, not much bite. Deebo Samuel can attest for that. I'm not mad. I'm not upset about anything he said. I think, like I said, or like you said, it's just kind of classless. Like, they didn't want to pay you last year. You come here on a discount. Say that you come here because you respect Aaron Glenn. The key word, respect. You said that he was like a father figure to you when you came into the league with the Saints. 1-year deal. You got hurt. Only played a handful of games. Now the Eagles want you back. You go tuck and tail and you go crawl back into bed with them. And I remember that Seahawks game very, very well. When he got hurt right before the half, I jumped on Twitter, during halftime. I was waiting for the second half to start, and I see a lot of Eagles fans, and I see the word karma being used quite a bit, more than one time. So, I mean, these are people who cheered for when you got injured. Regardless of how I feel, I will never, ever, ever clap my hands or applaud when someone gets hurt. It takes away the sanctity of the game, the competition. It makes the game a little less interesting for me if the best players aren't on the field. I want to beat the best. I want to have the best, out of our team. I don't cheer for injuries like the Eagles fans are doing. And you guys, I'm not saying every single one of you, but sometimes, you guys know you have the reputation you have for a reason. So I think it's a little classless what he did to the fans. Now let's get into what he did to the teammates.
Yeah.
Talking about how they're afraid to go out into the city of Detroit. How do you think about that?
Honestly, man, I just think it's humorous, man. One, because what are we doing? Are we playing football or are we trying to get some type of street credibility? Um, are we trying to perform at the highest levels and be good leaders in our communities, or are we focusing on causing rifts? Is he trying to lift these guys up like the Brian Branches and the guys that were in the secondary with him, man, that he left? Is he trying to leave a trail of him lifting guys up and these guys being better? I remember that incident that him and Kirby Joseph got into on the sideline. Like, what are we doing, man? It's just kind of corny, honestly. Like, so what? You're a hood guy now. You were for the streets while you were here. The streets love you. Like, what are we talking about, man? So here's what the only thing that I'll say is this, man, and I'm gonna keep it as polite as possible. CJ, CD Deuce, whatever your name is, I guarantee you that you will not come to the streets, east side or west side, and talk crazy, right? Like, so all that Twitter stuff or whatever, what you won't do is come down here and talk silly. But that's not even what it's about. I'm focused on these Detroit Lions and what we can do moving forward. I don't even think that CJ Gardner-Johnson is somebody that we need. I think that Brian Branch steps into that role and maybe he even potentially does it better, man. But either way, he steps into the role. We don't miss a beat. And whatever. Normally I would say good luck to him. I'm not gonna wish him luck. I'm honestly going to move on after this episode and forget about him.
True. Yeah, this is probably the last time we talk about them, unless the Lions end up playing the Eagles in the playoffs because we don't have them on the schedule this year. But I did find it a little funny about how he said that players don't go out in Detroit. Very first thing I thought of was I was just at a Red Wings game about a month ago. Aiden Hutchinson was there.
Yeah.
Chugging a beer, getting the fans going. I mean, we've seen players from other teams going to Red Wings games, Tigers games, vice versa, Pistons games. Like, these guys are out. They're in Detroit. So I don't know why you think you have a leg to stand on when you say that. Now, are they hitting up Motor City Casino at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday? No, probably not. That wouldn't be a good look for them. That's kind of a different environment. I don't know what you think these guys would do. Grab a Coney dog on 6 Mile? That's
what they want. That's what he's talking about, man. He's talking about going and intermingling with the people in the city, man, in the hoods, in the just you see J Mo doing some things, man. I think it's cool. But I don't think that has anything to do with playing football,
0%.
which is what you were here to do. Maybe you should have spent less time in the streets and more time preparing your body to play football, and you wouldn't end up injured, man. So I don't know, man. Hindsight 2020, say what you want, whatever it is, what it is. But the bottom line is the Detroit Lions no longer have CJ Gardner-Johnson on their team. I'm ecstatic about it. And after this, I'm going to forget about him and cheer on my Detroit Lions as they go after another Super Bowl in the 2024 season.
A Super Bowl. We need to get one before we get another. Let's get one first.
No, I mean go after another. Like we went after it last year, and we were close. When we were knocking on the door last year, and it's another round of us going after it again, man. And I don't think that we need CJ Gardner-Johnson to do it.
Yeah, it probably would have been a lot closer if CJ weren't whiffing on tackles in the NFC Championship game. If I'm being honest.
One thing that I will say that motivates guys that we talk about all the time is bulletin board material. Do you think that Deebo Samuel had some damn bulletin board material for CJ Gardner-Johnson? You think he was a little extra hyped up for that game? Do you think that he went into halftime and told his guys, there ain't no way that I'm about to lose to these Detroit Lions with this clown on that? We need to pick it up. We need to do something right now. We need to buckle down, right?
Not just him. Brandon Ayuk torched him. Christian McCaffrey torched him. George Kittle was blocking him. But I just did not have a good game.
Yeah, but I just even mean the inner beef that they had even way prior to him and Deebo Samuel. Like, why are you giving these guys bulletin board material?
They don't
I
need
like
any extra motivation.
I like what the Detroit Lions are, man. We're a blue collar team. We're tough. We're gritty. We play whistle to whistle. We get after it, and other teams don't like it. It's not fun. It's not fun to play guys like us, man. And that's all we need to do. Let the shoulder pads do the talking, and keep your fingers off of Twitter during the season.
Yeah. Last time talking about him, like I said, unless we play him in the playoffs. Just real quick about the JMO thing. It's cool that he goes out and like he mingles with people, but this is Detroit. If you go around and you're handing kids $100 bills and bottle of water, you never know who's going to see you. This is a dangerous city. If you're in the wrong neighborhood and someone sees you handing out cash, there could be a problem. So I don't really care for that, but I like him mingling with kids and like trying to, get involved. And I think he hosted a football camp. I don't know where that was, but was that in Detroit or Michigan somewhere?
I don't know the particulars.
Or was that back home for him?
Yeah, I don't know the particulars. I know he did. I thought that he just there was either a group of kids that were already working out and doing some stuff, and he pulled up, or he put together a little something that wasn't super organized. But I don't remember the particulars of it, man. But I'm cool with him going out in situations that he feels comfortable. But at the end of the day, we got to remember that we're here to be a professional football player and to be pillars in this community, not get on Twitter and talk trash. That's all.
Yeah. So end of the day, I think we're both kind of glad CJ's gone. We weren't really heartbroken when he left, either one of us. And honestly, I think this is just kind of validating that. Like, this is just his character. This is what he does. I don't know if he thinks he's Michael Jordan and he's got to find like these extra incentives for motivation, like MJ used to. They talked about that in that Last Dance documentary, how Michael would just take the smallest thing and he would use it as motivation. A little different with CJ Gardner-Johnson because there's no rings on those fingers. So I don't know. I think that might be what he's trying to do, but there's only one Michael Jordan. That's all I'm gonna say. So
yeah, he don't even deserve to be in that conversation, man.
I'm sorry I even said his name in the same breath as Michael Jordan, the GOAT, or as LeBron the GOAT.
I'm worried about the Detroit Lions.
All right, guys, that's it for tonight. We're just kind of recapping some stuff that CJ said. This will be the last time you hear his name mentioned on this podcast. Like I said, unless the Detroit Lions play the Philadelphia Eagles, which won't be until the playoffs this year. They're not on the regular season schedule. So unless we match up with the Eagles later on the road, we will not mention them again. So leave some comments down below. Let us know how you feel about the trash talk. Hit that like button. If you're new here, stick around, subscribe. We'll be back later with some more content.
Peace.